Welcome to the New York Stadium, pride of Yorkshire, almost certainly, where Norwich City have clocked up a 23rd victory of this championship season, their 6th on the bounce, and by my reckoning they are now within 4 wins from the last 8 games of reaching 90 points and guaranteeing top 2 finish. Or as Daniel Farker said, Norwich are in a great position to finish in the top 4. I don't think we can necessarily disagree with him there. This probably, and it's always difficult, you say these things after a game, but I think for me this is as good as any result Norwich have picked up this season. And I know Rotherham are struggling in the table, but their home form is excellent. They've only lost 4 times here, as Norwich have done at Carrow Road, as Millwall had done at the Den before Norwich went there. And in many ways this game was a lot like what I was expecting from the Den, and that was a real tough test, but this was tougher. The conditions, horrible day, swirling wind, reasonably bobbly pitch, obviously same for both sides. Regardless of what anyone is saying or protestations, you know, Rotherham were getting it down. They wanted to get in Norwich's faces. They wanted to rough it up. They wanted to stick the ball in the corners, big diagonals, knockdowns, see what you can pick up in the box. And as Daniel Farker said, 60% of their goals have come from set pieces. So no real hiding what Rotherham were doing. Just maybe a slight surprise that some people don't appreciate that is what they do. It's not lazy journalism. It's not. It's just literally that is it if you watch it. And it's a real stern examination, and it's phenomenally impressive that Norwich City have come to take that on and adapted their game, so they've come away with a win. It emphasises how well Norwich are doing and adapting to the continuing promotion challenge, which is something I demanded of them kind of at the start of the year, that they would need to adapt and refine when they come up against teams second time around, because they will know what Norwich are about, and Norwich are providing answers. It's a phenomenally impressive thing that Norwich are doing, that they're picking up these results, and fair play. It means that they are now excuse me, on 78 points. Leeds are on 73, and they are now third because Sheffield United are on 74 in second. I think I've got that right off the top of my head, but quite clearly Norwich are now 4 points ahead of Sheffield United in second, 5 ahead of Leeds in third after events at Ellen Road. And of course that was a couple of hours before what happened here, but the key, whether that result was good, bad or indifferent for Norwich, was always what Norwich did here, and the fact that they finished the job was brilliant. It was a really even, topsy-turvy half. A lot of credit to Rotherham for how well they dug in, the pressure they put on Norwich, the way they went about their game, and really got into Norwich's faces. But it was Norwich who took the lead. A lovely little dinked finish from Kenny McLean, who of course has been the subject of some team news questions and queries over whether freshening up and what have you. But it was actually a really good move and a lovely assist from Teemu Pukki, who, even though he's maybe still just, it's basically not quite rolling for him at the moment, which is fair enough, because a lot of the times it really has just rolled for him. So take that. But what Teemu's doing is he's chipping in with assists. He's still making goals, and he made another one with a lovely ball today. I think Rodak coming out kind of made the opportunity as well for Kenny, but he took it really well. That's his 3rd game in 6 appearances, and of course it's fair to say that in those 6 unchanged 11s, Norwich have now won all 6. So can't really be too critical, can we? That's the reality of it. By the way, 2,615 Norwich City fans in here, just behind me there, actually, in that stand. They got to see the winning goal in front of them. They were absolutely fantastic today, made a wonderful noise, really got behind the team. They got behind Tim Krul, even though he had a few sketchy moments, again, it has to be said, but you know, also in these conditions you can probably appreciate that, and you know, I don't think there was anything that was too much of an issue, really, in truth. So Norwich went ahead just before half-time, which was nice to see, because sometimes it's the other way around. They did actually concede on 52 minutes, I think it was. Semir J, who was very good today. He's got quite a bit about him, as we know. It's actually his 6th goal in 5 games, I think. He took it really well. Might have got a deflection, but he did take it really well on the turn. Brilliant finish, nicked into the far corner beyond Tim Krul. But Norwich were back level within 5 minutes, just down there. Kenny McLean's corner. Ben Godfrey's header at the back post, back across goal and inside the far corner. Lovely to see Kenny whipping up the crowd, and the home crowd, whipping up the away fans before he took the corner, making sure they were, you know, just getting behind the team, which they did all game. And the southern softies and diving, cheating players that some of the home fans would accuse them of, scoring a set piece. So that's a contradiction in terms, isn't it, against the rugged northern powerhouse. But this was a really surreal atmosphere. I mean, Norwich have had it difficult here in recent seasons. They drew back in 2015 when they needed a win to keep pace with the automatic promotion places. We had Lewis Grabban getting sent off, Lewis Grabban going AWOL in the cup game, and of course Nelson Oliveira getting sent off here when Rotherham were basically the worst team in the division by a country mile, and Norwich then losing, and I think that was 2-1 as well. Excuse me. So yeah, this is a really hard place to come. The locals are vocal. They don't like it if they're not getting their own way. At times it felt like they hadn't really seen a game of football for 10 years and maybe don't appreciate how the game is officiated now. I don't really know what else to say. When you've got one team desperate to rough things up and the other team knowing that the other team are going to do that because it's their best chance of getting a result, then the referee is going to probably give some that he shouldn't give and also not give some that he should give. It's part and parcel. Ultimately, it was a pretty even game in terms of the general play, but I would say that as the game wore on, Norwich have far the better chances and really should have put the game to bed, probably with a third goal through the second half. But there we go. Rotherham on this performance, they should batter some teams and make life really horrible for them and have a great chance of staying up. I would say they're better than Millwall, for example. So a lot of football to be played, and they were good in a lot of ways today. I really like Paul Warne. It'd be great if they did it. As for Norwich, they have bigger fish to fry, and they will get to fry them after the international break when they head to Middlesbrough. That's going to be a fascinating game, given Middlesbrough have been done 3-0 at Aston Villa, and for me, I can see Villa not only finishing in the playoffs but winning them. The playoff battle is fascinating below, and that will have a dynamic in terms of who other teams come up against, of course, who Leeds play, who Sheffield United play now. That dynamic behind Norwich is going to be really interesting, and of course it may yet have an impact on what Norwich do. There is still a lot of points to be played for and a lot of points that Norwich win to finish the job. But again, the mounting evidence is that the closer we get, the more Norwich are raising their game to the challenge and doing a brilliant job of making a real go of it. It was a real team effort today. I don't know if anyone particularly stood out. I mean, Emi Buendia again, just the level of quality he's now playing at is fantastic. Ben Godfrey and Christoph Zimmermann were excellent at the back, and the fullbacks both did a pretty good job, because this was a tricky game to get forward because it was difficult on the pitch, and you might find yourself running backwards again. Couldn't pick a hole in anyone's performance. There weren't any changes until the 90th, 91st and 92nd minutes, which just about tipped some of the home fans beside the press box over the edge. I'm sure they'll recover from all that, as will Norwich. 2 weeks break. Let's hope everyone goes on their international break, comes back in one piece, and then we all head to the Riverside for the return of Championship action, where Norwich are within 8 games, maybe fewer, of a Premier League return. Loads more reaction and analysis, of course, over at PinkUn.com, both now and throughout the international break. So make sure you check it out. Until then, have a great weekend.